Strangers with Kittens. Gen X stories from the least parented generation.
Hi, welcome to Strangers with Kittens. I'm here with entrepreneur, comedian, businesswoman, brand ambassador, mama, just Renaissance woman, Carey Reilly. Thank you for being here.
Thanks for having me.
It's always weird. It's like, do we look at each other here? Or here?
We're like lovers in a booth.
Nice.
Yeah, this is fun.
Nice. Yeah.
Because we've been friends a million years.
We really have. We've been friends for a very long time.
25 years.
Yeah. We were friends before kids. We were comedians that would sort of pass each other on stage.
Wait a minute. In the 90s.
In the 90s.
Which is so hot right now because of Love Story.
Yes.
Everyone's talking about it. And we were together in New York in the 90s.
Girls in New York.
In New York.
We sure were.
And you had the pixie cut.
I did.
The Courtney, whatever from Friends. I think she's the one who, Drew Barrymore, the pixie cut.
I'll tell you the haircut I had. It was a bedhead ad that I brought to the salon, and I was like, I want this. Remember bedhead? I know they still sell it, but it was like when bedhead first came out.
And you waxed it.
I had the manipulator.
Yes.
Remember that? It was blue gel that you could just make your hair shaped into anything. And I had hair longer than this and no bangs, I don't think, at the time. And I had it cut really tight, like Rosemary's Baby, Mia Farrow.
Yep.
But what I loved about it was from this ad, they had this tight bob, the pieces were a little bit longer here. So if I wanted to pull it, even though it was really tight and layered, I could pull it out a little bit and make it like a bob, or I could tuck it behind my ears and make it.
But it was short.
It was super short.
Yeah, it was super short. And I loved it.
It was tapered at my neck.
Yeah. I think it's fun to talk about 90s and New York.
I do too.
Because this is very Googleable right now. Everybody wants to know. Ava's like, Mom, she sat her friends down and she goes, could you tell us about what it was like in the 90s in New York?
Cute.
And I was like, really? Really? We're going there? She's like, well, what was it like? Was it really like what it was in Love Story? I was like,
magazines were.
We should talk about this. This is what people want to know. Are we recording?
We're. I made so little money. I made $18,000 a year at my first job. 19
what though? 1992?
Yeah, December 1992. And then I got another job, a better job, 2 months later, and made $19,000, which I thought was like.
Yeah, but tell where you were working.
I was working in film publicity.
Yeah, you were in the fun part of New York.
It was called a glam job, and I got to meet a lot of cool people, but I didn't love it. But it was, I used to go to screenings. I used to have to run screenings. It was I felt like such a bumpkin because I would never have any opportunity to go to half the places that I went to if I wasn't going for work. So, dinner at the Russian tea room and,
You weren't connected before that.
Right.
Is that what you mean? Okay.
Not at all.
You didn't grow up with the privilege and the connections.
Absolutely not. And we didn't even though I wasn't that far from New York, we never ever went to New York.
Mm-hmm.
So that was amazing. And magazines were so glamorous.
They were.
So important.
Yep.
Right?
They were a big deal.
Important? It was like telling you what was in and what books to read and what CDs to buy and what clothes to, copy on the cheap.
Well, this is before the internet.
Right. You couldn't afford. Yeah. So
Kip, it's so old to say that, but this is before
the internet.
And you couldn't wait until Wednesday when your magazine came.
Well, I didn't have subscriptions. I should have just subscribed to some of them. But I remember I made so little money. It was, I could either get pizza for lunch on Friday.
Mm-hmm.
I could get maybe
pizza,
2 slices.
Like the cheapest thing to get.
2 slices of pizza, or I could get a magazine. And so I'd have to make a choice.
What'd you do?
If it was a magazine, I remember when Bazaar came out, it had been a magazine, I don't know, the 30s and 40s maybe. And then it went away and then it came out and Linda Evangelista was on the cover and she had this pose where her eye, only one of her eyes, it was so beautiful. that I was like, I would not eat for a week to buy this magazine. It was so glamorous and cool. And yeah, if it was something like that, you'd stand at a newsstand, look through things, they'd yell at you
Yeah, you'd have to
for
keep
looking
going.
for
But there's
looking at
nothing
the
like that
magazine.
now.
I know.
There's nothing like
There
that.
was something really charming about getting yelled at the newsstand when you were trying to look and see if it was really worth your hard-earned $2.50 or whatever it was. And yeah, and then I decided whether I was going to fork over the only money that I had. And that was
Mhm.
it, because I had enough money to pay for the bus and pay my rent and maybe get 2 slices of pizza
Because you
or
would
a
come in
magazine.
from the city, New Jersey.
Well, first it was coming in from New Jersey, then it was also New Jersey because I lived in Hoboken. So,
Well,
yeah,
that
so
was
then
that was cool then to live in Hoboken.
it was super cool.
It was super cool.
Yeah. And I couldn't afford to live in New York. But Hoboken kind of had its own, and I think it still does, has its own personality and its own vibe, and it was so young.
It does,
and
but not like
cool.
it did. I don't feel like
No.
it's the same.
Well,
Do
now
you?
it's so expensive.
It's so expensive.
Like anything else, right? Like Soho and Tribeca, it gets
Mhm.
ruined by rich people, really.
Yeah, but they also had, which I thought was fun, like love stories out now on, what is it? The
Hulu.
mini series in Hulu.
And FX.
About the John F. Kennedy and Carolyn Bessette story. And
Yeah.
by the way, he worked in our building.
Really?
So one of my first jobs was at 1633 Broadway, which was right across from.
Mine was 1500 Broadway and then 1776 Broadway.
Oh,
We
you
were
were up. You
neighbors
were
in our
down
day
at.
job.
You were like 47th, and then you're
I
up at the
was
Columbus Circle.
42nd. I was
42nd.
42nd. And I used to be able to see the New York Times ticker from my,
Yes.
like if I was faxing something.
That was the thing.
I remember standing there faxing LA and seeing it come across the ticker that Magic Johnson was HIV positive. And it was like,
Oh,
what am I seeing right now?
wow.
And I mean, back then it was such a death sentence. It was
Oh,
like,
it was.
oh my God, like he was at the height of his career. And it was like, what's going to happen?
And they thought it was just affecting the gay population. And,
Yeah.
And I think he was the first one. They were like, this is an everybody issue.
Yes. Yeah, he really, unfortunately, I mean, his misfortune woke everybody up and
Mhm.
made people realize that it was an everybody issue. And, it's too
Yes.
bad it had to come to that.
But so I worked at 50th and Broadway. And that's where George was. George was like on the 32nd floor, I think it was.
Mhm.
And I was on the 16th floor working at Showtime, Sundance Channel, and then Showtime. I don't remember which one it was.
Mm.
And then John, my husband, he would see, because he worked in the same building. We weren't married then.
Mhm.
And he would, and I would see JFK ride his bike and swing his leg over and put it in the back in the middle of the building. My husband would go down. This is like 90, this would be
94, 95?
97, I moved into New York. So I first moved to New York in 95 out of college. I landed an internship at Regis and Kathy Lee, and I lived in New York at the YMCA. It was called the DeHirsch Residence at 92nd Street Y.
Oh, okay.
And I lived by myself with a roommate from Chile, and it was my first experience where it was like, oh, you're not my age. I haven't,
Yeah.
it was odd. And so at that time, to like a 19-year-old or whatever I was. And then I moved back in 97. And so this was, John he'd go down and have a cigarette with John F. Kennedy Jr. He would bum, they were notorious for bumming cigarettes. If you see on the show, like Caroline, like they're always bumming a cigarette from someone. And that was real. And John used to see him all the time. And
I love
talk to
those
him.
details. They got a lot of details, right?
They did. And they would
Yeah.
talk sports. They would talk what was going on. And they were just John and John.
John and John.
Yeah. And John didn't even like tell me about it until years later. He's like, oh yeah, I used to hang out with him. I'm like, what? Why didn't I ever see him?
But it's so, like, the soundtrack is so fun.
It is fun.
Like, En Vogue and Set Adrift of Memory, Bliss of You. PM Dawn.
I don't know any of that.
And oh my God, I just love the music. Even if I didn't love the music at the time, it just brings you back to that time that's what was on the radio.
And we were wearing all of that. I saw you wear it yourself.
Yeah.
The corduroys.
Yeah.
And I still have some of them in my closet.
Yeah.
I kept them for Ava.
Yeah.
And
I have some necklaces, some like black
Right?
velvet chokers
Yes.
and stuff. Yeah.
and it was a lot of silver and very minimalist.
Yeah.
And that was real. It was
A lot of
very
silver.
minimal.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't.
I only wore silver up until even a couple of years ago.
I don't want that to come back.
The silver?
No.
But it wasn't like, I thought it was cool.
It's very
little-
understated.
Yeah. It wasn't like, I don't know, Renaissance fair silver or like.
No, it was. That's true. It was a bright silver sterling.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was just very minimalist. I mean,
that's still my vibe.
that's still your vibe.
Yeah.
Yep. I think so too.
I loved Calvin Klein then. I still like it. It's not really proportioned for me, but everything's a little too short.
Yeah.
But I love the aesthetic, and yeah, I still do.
Well, I got, because of her, Caroline Passek Kennedy, she wore, and I still can't find the photo anywhere, but I remember having it posted on my fridge. She went out to a dinner and she had the most beautiful pale blue dress, and she had a pale blue pashmina. And no one had ever seen a pashmina before.
I remember that.
They were like $400.
I was like, what is that? Yeah.
Yes, it was like,
Then
what
street
is
vendors
it?
started selling them cheaper after
Yes.
a while, but
And I got one in the store. I saved up, I mean, like $5 a week for like 6 months or more. I don't know how I did
the amount
it.
of saving that we had to do.
So much. And I still have it.
Wow.
And I wore it to a
I
wedding.
love that.
I know. I wore it to a wedding that year. I have a
I
picture
have
of it.
all of the pashminas I ever, because they're great. They
But they had never
stay
existed
fine.
before.
I know. I mean, in other cultures they did, but not
Oh,
here.
yeah.
Yeah. It just never, it was so like, what is
It was either a
that?
shawl or it was a scarf.
But
or you could do
shawls were
both.
kind of shaped like a triangle and
Yes.
more kind of granny-ish. This was a
Soft
rectangle
and
and it
buttery.
wasn't, and it wasn't fringy and lacy and
No.
too much going on, you know?
Wool,
Mhm.
cashmere.
Yeah.
This was cashmere.
Really?
I mean, I think,
For $400 probably.
yeah, it must have been.
Must have been. I don't think
But
that-
she was the one that started it, and she really was a trendsetter,
Yeah.
and it really was something we looked to see what was she wearing and
Yeah.
what was she doing. We couldn't afford what she was doing, but then soon enough, the Gap started knocking off a lot of her stuff.
Yeah.
If you remember,
Yeah.
or we would go, and I think you went too. Probably, I would go to those sample sales in the garment district.
Oh my God. Did you ever go to 7th on Sale?
I think I did. I
That
must
was-
have. I
that
didn't know the
was,
name of it.
It was to benefit AIDS. It was 7th on Sale, and it was once a year. You had to buy tickets.
Oh no,
like
I
it was a
never went to
concert.
that.
You had to buy tickets.
I would have
wait
loved
in
it.
line, and then you just went in, and like there were no dressing rooms. It was just like open
Oh yeah.
rooms full of stuff, and I wore like a workout, like a unitard, so that I could try
Oh, yeah.
stuff on and
Mhm.
not get naked. And I remember women being like, "Oh my God, that was so smart," because they were like trying to try stuff on with like people all around them in their underwear. And
Well, you were in an old factory. They would take these old garment factories, right?
yep.
And make them into these pop-up stores
Yeah.
that were disgusting. I mean,
It wasn't pretty.
no,
Like,
no,
wasn't-
it was nasty.
But I still
But
have some
it
stuff
was
from that
Huge brands and big
Yep.
discounts.
huge. I have an Armani
Oh,
Velvet.
You were getting good stuff.
and silk tuxedo jacket
Nice.
that I got at 7th on Sale. I don't remember how much it was, but it wasn't. I mean, it was a stretch for me at the time, even though it was probably 10% of what it actually cost. And I still have it, and I still wear it. I just wore it like not too long ago.
Well, we didn't have cell phones. We had pagers.
I didn't even have a pager. I had nothing.
Oh, I guess I was fancy.
I mean, were you a drug dealer? 'Cause
no, I was an actor, so you'd have to have a pager.
I had a service.
Oh yeah, but how would you know?
You had
You
to
would just
call in.
call in all
You
day.
would just call in all day. You were
I
just
forgot
like
about
anxious
that.
all the time. And
No,
you
I
just
forgot about
constantly call.
that.
And then the day that you didn't call was the day that you got an audition.
Yeah.
Because you didn't call.
You're right about that. Forgot about that.
Yeah. No, it was just
I don't
like,
know. Well, but you were doing that in 95. By 97, 98, the pagers. You probably had a pager at that
I
point.
didn't.
Oh, you still didn't.
But then I had a cell phone. I think in 98 I bought a
Oh, yes.
Motorola StarTAC flip phone. I was like, I am the coolest person in the entire world.
And you'd go, shh.
Yep, with an
The
antenna.
antenna.
It was like, hello. Yes, coolest person in the world speaking. It was amazing. And that thing, you could drop it. It was kind of the mobile phone version of our old heavy phones because those things were indestructible.
Oh, yeah.
I would drop it constantly. The only thing would happen
Yep.
is the battery would pop out. The phone would go one way, the battery would go the other. You'd clip it back into the back of the phone, and it was fine.
And then I remember when somebody said you had the keyboard came up, a QWERTY keyboard. and someone's Cordy,
yeah,
and someone's
Cordy.
like, it's texting, and I'm like, this is the dumbest thing. Why wouldn't I just call someone and say what I want to say? Why am I writing letters to them? In the beginning, I thought that.
But it felt like passing notes to me.
Yeah, well,
kinda
then,
like
then we
getting away with
understood
something
it.
in high school.
In the beginning, though, it did feel very awkward and weird.
How about when you had to do it by pushing the number
Yes!
3 4 times? It's like
You did until you got the correct
C,
letter.
A. It was like, I think we could
I forgot
telegraph
that.
each other quicker than this.
Yeah, it's true. That was true. I forgot about that.
And then the BlackBerry. That was fantastic.
I never had a BlackBerry. I had a Palm Pilot.
I had a Palm Pilot too.
Yeah,
That
a
was
Palm Pilot was.
Well, the big highlight of a Palm Pilot was if you were next to someone else with a Palm Pilot, you could trade like contact information. And we thought that was so high tech and space aged.
It was basically an agenda. Well, it came with a stylus. That was very exciting.
Mine got stolen out of the back of my. Did you have a backpack?
Oh my God, yes.
Yeah, I
The
had a
tiny little
backpack.
backpack.
Yep, I had a backpack that came across my chest. Eventually, when I had
You're not talking
StarTAC.
about a college backpack.
No,
You
I'm
mean
talking about a slick
the
black
leather.
city. It
They were
wasn't
popular.
leather, but it was nylon.
They
It
were
was
minimalist.
awesome. Yeah, I loved it. It was very sleek, but somebody stole my Palm Pilot out of the back of it while I was standing on the subway, totally unaware that they were robbing me.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
Bad.
That's the danger of a backpack. You don't really know what's going on back there.
Well, they were fashion backpacks. They sat very low on your lower back. They were slung low.
Well, you could adjust this one. And so the one that I ended up getting a StarTAC, and it had the
What's a
backpack that I
StarTAC?
got, the Motorola that I was talking about.
Oh.
And I got it from a street vendor.
You got your phone from a
No,
street vendor?
I got my backpack.
Oh, okay.
And I agonized over it because I wanted it to be very sleek, very minimalist. And I went back and forth between all these different street vendors for weeks trying to decide what was the best one. And I got one that had a little phone
Oh,
right
yes.
here. So you didn't have to fumble trying to get your phone if it started ringing. It was so great.
That was great.
Yeah. I used to rollerblade with it sometimes.
Ooh. You did rollerblade.
I did.
I wasn't capable of that. I had some near accidents into people eating on the side of the sidewalk. I remember that. Where were you rollerblading? Because that's something John used to do.
I just around, like, to get to places.
Really?
Yeah, but I even went down subway stairs.
Oh,
it wasn't good.
no.
It wasn't good. Like, I remember thinking, like, I'm going to crack my head open.
Yeah.
Like, and now what am I going to do? I can't. They're on my feet. Like,
oh, right.
I'm nowhere near home. I'm halfway down the subway stairs. It feels a bad choice that I've made.
You never see them anymore.
No, I don't think you should be in the subway because you could so easily roll off onto the tracks.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I remember thinking, like, when I got on the train, I was like, this is a bad idea. And I sat and switched into my sneakers and carried my rollerblades home. Because
Oh,
I
you
was
did?
Like, I'm going to kill myself. Yeah. And I
You
was like, this is
carried
dumb.
your sneakers in your backpack?
Yeah, I would
Oh.
carry my sneakers in my backpack, and
That was smart.
but my rollerblades were so big and heavy
Mhm.
that it sucked to have to carry them.
Yeah.
They didn't have laces; they had buckles, so it wasn't like you could just like throw them over your shoulder, you know.
Mhm.
So it was awkward and heavy and dirty, and like the wheel. Now you're holding them, and the
And
dirt
there's, like,
from the wheels
urine
is
on
getting
the
all over
wheels.
your
Yeah.
clothes. It looked far
And it wasn't
cooler
a
than
pretty
it
New
was.
York. Yeah, it wasn't
Yeah.
a pretty New York.
No, it was a very dirty New York. This is pre Giuliani,
Oh, yeah.
which
I know Giuliani has a
went off
story.
the rails
He-
in the worst possible way.
However,
For a
Giuliani in New
minute,
York,
he was the best thing that ever happened to New York for a minute.
100%.
Yeah.
We were like, we could walk down Times Square.
Yeah.
I remember before Giuliani, this was in 95, walking down into Hell's Kitchen, which was a scary place.
Step over junkies to get
No
where
question.
you're going. And it was like, are they going to grab
And
me?
see a chalk line of a body.
Yep.
I saw that myself on the sidewalk. Did you see it?
I have.
I have seen it, and I was from Syracuse, and I was like, I was scared. You were scared to be in Hell's Kitchen. It was a lot of booby bars.
Oh, it was nothing but porn
Yeah, right?
theaters, strip clubs, and junkies.
I mean, it was scary,
Yeah.
and
aggressive panhandlers.
yes,
Yeah,
yes,
it was really bad.
So Giuliani, I know, but he did clean it up.
You can't imagine what Times Square used to be like.
No,
It was
that's when
nothing like
Disney
it
started
is.
coming in. We
Yeah.
started enjoying theater again.
And it did feel gross. Like, oh God, now we're Disneyfying New York.
Yes,
like,
it did.
I was like, all right, pump the brakes on this a little bit. You know, it's one thing to clean it up. It's another thing to make it into like an amusement park or like, you know, Orlando or something. But
I mean, I love Disney World in Orlando, so I don't know
I'm
what
just
you're
saying,
dissing on. I just
I'm
was
just
there
saying
last month.
We don't want Manhattan to be that. Everything, you know, keep that personality there and keep this personality there. That's all.
I
I'm
like
not
fake.
hating on anybody.
I don't feel that way. I like fake. I don't
despise it. I despise it. If
I could live
makes me
at Disney, I'd
feel
be so happy.
panicked inside.
I know. I don't feel that way. I love it. I'm like, someone's taking care of nonsense, and I can live in this world that doesn't exist.
Wow. Wow.
It's
Give
true.
me reality every time.
I don't
If I feel
want
like anybody
reality.
is filtering anything, I get so freaked out. I feel a little psycho.
When I was just in Epcot with my son, I was walking around. I was like, you know, and we just come back from Europe last fall. I was like, I don't know. I think I'm just good at Epcot Europe. I don't know that I need to build Europe.
My God.
I think this is good enough. I'm happy with this pizza in the Italian pavilion.
Look,
Even though I was just in Rome, I'm like, I'm good here.
the food is excellent.
In Disney,
Mhm.
it's excellent.
It's excellent. I mean, in Epcot.
Yeah, excellent. I know.
It really is. I'm not saying that's any substitute for going to Europe, but they do it
I'm
very
just
well.
saying, if you can't go,
Right.
because it can be expensive,
Mhm.
you could feel like you've been there and just be at the different pavilions. I said it.
I don't agree.
Well,
But the food is good.
yeah.
And I think it's the only place that we could see Mulan was in China, and Epcot was the only place she makes an appearance.
Oh, okay. I didn't know
Yeah,
that. I actually
kinda-
didn't know
We
that.
kind of caught her coming out with, I don't remember the dragon's name, but the dragon was there.
Oh, that was
Yeah,
fun then.
it was super special. Yeah,
That's
and
really
we
fun.
had her all to ourselves because it was like a totally down low situation. Well, I'm not hating on Disney. I'm just saying let New York be New York.
Yes,
Let
no, I
Disney be
get that.
Disney. You know, like
Yeah.
we don't need to whitewash everything.
There's room for both
Yeah,
in New
there's room
York.
for both. And also, when you start making every place the same, then no place feels special or different
That's true.
or has its own unique personality. you know?
Yeah, that's very true.
But that was decades before the shoe polish running down the side of the face, Giuliani. This was, you know, I don't know who that person was, but he was pretty
No.
great for a couple of years there. Through 9/11, I mean,
It was a window.
He was like the world's leader through
Yeah.
9/11. Bush went into hiding and we didn't hear from him, and Giuliani stepped up and spoke to the entire country, and it was like, thank
Yep.
goodness somebody's taking the wheel. You
It
know,
was a window of time he was good.
yeah. I don't know if that was an anomaly or if, like, I don't know if he just had this moment where he was stellar and the rest of the time he was awful, or if he was stellar to a point and then he just lost his marbles. I don't know. But they are not the same.
Or
people,
different
that's for
people
sure.
behind you, maybe. You know what I mean?
I don't. How influential can someone be? My God. You go from leading the country out of 9/11 to standing in front of a landscaping place with shoe polish running down your face. It's a big jump.
Forgot about
I'm gonna
the
need a
shoe
second.
I forgot about the shoe polish. But I actually didn't know that the 90s were fun until this series literally came out. Because
Wait, you didn't know? You weren't having fun?
I didn't love it. I thought it was fine. I didn't know until I started watching it. I was like, hey, I was there for that.
Yeah.
And now,
Well, obviously, Ryan Murphy is making it a lot more fun than, I mean, you didn't have a personal soundtrack behind you the whole time.
no, but I do think that the kids now that are watching it, because a lot of our daughters are in college and they're all watching it.
Mhm.
And Ava called me up and she's like, do you think, tell us about what it was really like in New York, because you were there. And a lot of people, I think, are looking for people to come on social media and TikTok and stuff and be like, this is how it was, or verify how it was. And it was that way. And it wasn't until then I was like, oh, it was kind of special to be there.
Yeah. And it was also the time before the internet,
And the world
the
changed.
time before the iPhone.
Yeah.
the world changed almost overnight.
Yeah.
And I don't want to be a hater of innovation. There's so many good things that have come with technology, so many. But I think we were much more connected then.
Yes.
I think we were much more social, and there were many more real experiences. If you wanted to experience music, you went out to Webster Hall or Irving Plaza or somewhere, or there was a free concert in Central Park or whatever, but you didn't have any other choice. It wasn't going to be online. It wasn't going to be streamed anywhere. It wasn't, if you wanted to see a movie, you had to go see it in the movie theater or wait 6 months till it came out on video and miss the whole thing. Like, if you wanted to experience it in the time period where it was happening and everyone was talking about it, you had to participate with everybody. And now it's like we're all sort
That's a
of
good point.
siloed off in different ways. Because I always say, like, we were siloed in the 80s going through our stuff and not knowing that lots of people were going through it. That's what's so great about social media and the internet and stuff now. But on the flip side, now we're so siloed when we're experiencing movies and music, and everything is curated to just our taste, our algorithm. And so we're not having this shared experience of being like, oh my God, let's all go to Irving Plaza and see this band or whatever, you know?
Yeah, like, and then have a water cooler moment.
Yeah. And that's the other thing. Everybody was watching the same shows on Thursday night and then coming in on Friday and talking about it.
Yes.
Oh my God, can you believe what happened
And
on
you had to
ER?
watch it that hour. You were not taping it and
Nope.
seeing it later.
Nope.
It was
And
around that time Web TV had just come out.
TiVo
had just
I didn't
come
have
out.
it, but yeah. But then the next day, it was like if you didn't see it, you felt like you were left out
Yes.
because everybody was talking about this show, Seinfeld or ER. Everyone was talking about it. Everybody was laughing about it over Friday bagels or whatever it was. And it was a connector.
Mm-hmm.
And now it's like, oh, are you watching Love Story? Oh, I haven't gotten to it yet. 2 months from now, I'll go and watch it or whatever, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But you can kind of watch it on your own schedule, which has its good points and bad points, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it is live on FX, and I have watched it live. Like,
But I
the
love
next
it.
day. I'm surprised at how much I'm loving it. You know what I like? I didn't feel like when it was happening, it was more about JFK Jr., right? Like, sexiest man on earth, Kennedy.
He was.
Kennedy, he was a Kennedy.
He was
And
beautiful.
the thing is, Carolyn Bessette was a badass. She was just like, people didn't know who she was, but she was really influential, and she was cool and had her own style and had her own very strong opinions and ways of doing things. And I don't think at the time, and maybe I just wasn't reading the right publications, but at the time, I don't feel like they gave her credit for that. I feel like it was more just like, who's this woman with JFK Jr.?
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't like, how lucky is he to be with this baddie?
Yeah, because she was an influencer, Calvin Klein, and everything she was doing. But he still was a Kennedy. And they have records that they do say he cheated on her.
Really?
Yeah, and in the thing they allude that she did cheat with that the model.
Yeah.
And he wrote a book about it. And he
really?
said in the book this affair continued on.
I
think they were
understand
toxic
that.
together.
I can understand needing to be with someone who knew you when, because you're suddenly in such a fishbowl and people are projecting all these opinions of who you are or who they think you are. And so to go back and be with someone who knew you before all this and saw you for you and loved you for you or liked you for you, I could see that being very appealing and like an escape hatch.
I could
from
see
the
that too.
nonsense,
And he was good. He was good to look at.
Yeah.
It's not like she picked a pair of uglies.
Right.
Like, I mean, for real. She went from one hottest guy to the next hottest guy. She had a type.
Yeah, she had a type. But I just like that it's more about her and her accomplishments and not just like the young guy who's kind of struggling with what he wants to do. And I will say, I remember thinking back when George came out, this is so cool that someone with this name and this power is trying to get young people to be interested and informed about politics. Because look what's happened to us without George. Look how much we've been manipulated, you know? So to have somebody trying to make politics sexy and trying to get people to be engaged and show up at the polls and all that, it was really important. I mean, it may not have been very successful, but it was a noble endeavor.
I think he was a spoiled brat that killed his wife in an airplane crash. I said it. I think he came from a spoiled family.
Oh, I mean, a dysfunctional family for sure, an entitled family for sure.
I think they were toxic together.
I don't really remember. I mean, I know the whole Battery Park argument.
Yes, that was. How many times have you been in a park and you had a drag out fight with somebody? You took their face and you scrunched it and you dragged them back and
she did that. He didn't squish her in the face.
no, he did squish her in the face.
I think she did.
We need fact checking. Where's
do.
our fact checker?
I think she was the one.
No,
that got
I think
physical.
I'm going to look it up while we're talking.
Okay.
Because I think he scrunched her face. Wait, tell me how many times I've been in a park screaming and yelling at someone.
Never.
Never. Because it's not normal. But if you're going to have an argument, you're really having it at home.
Yeah.
Unless there's a level of toxicity where you're letting it rip.
Well, not only that, but there was a level of entitlement where you're not cowed into being decent in public, right? I mean, there's a time and a place for things. For most of us, for some of us, we feel that we're entitled to just air our dirty laundry wherever and whenever we want.
Yes. Okay. During a high-profile February 1996 incident, it was captured by the paparazzi. He was having an intense argument during which their actions included grabbing and pulling at each other. Reports of JFK Jr.'s hands appearing to push at her jaw during the confrontation.
All right.
Now,
corrected.
You don't like that now.
No.
Because I know you don't like that.
I don't like her getting physical with him either.
No, I agree.
I'm not condoning any of it. I just thought that she was the one that, I mean, she was much smaller than he was on top of being female.
I think that when we watch this, like Ava called me and I was like, don't forget, these were two toxic people that probably should not have been together. And she's like, oh, like she just saw it as this really magical thing. He dated Daryl Hannah while he dated her. He was on and off with both of them.
In the show.
Yep,
Yeah.
for like almost 2 years.
Mm.
He broke up with her because somebody wrote a letter trashing her. And he didn't speak to her for almost a year or so, or 2 years, I think, in real life. So I'm just saying, I don't think it's as magical as I want everyone to know.
They show that. I don't know where you're at in the show, but that comes up and it shows.
That's not as magical?
Oh, yeah. Like they show someone just dropping a letter in his duffel bag while he's playing football.
Right. And what a jerk
and he believed it.
Right.
And she says that.
And that's jerky.
And she said, what a jerk.
Yes.
Leave just some random letter
Exactly.
someone wrote trashing me. You, of all people,
but he's so good looking,
should know that people talk shit about you when you're in the public eye.
That's a good point. And I think her biggest interest was protecting him.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. I don't know. I know it's not factual. And I know they did Daryl Hannah dirty, but it's enjoyable to watch, and the soundtrack is fantastic.
It's really fun.
It's really fun.
It's just fun. And it's fun to think about the fashions and all the Prada stuff.
It's fun. Yeah, the fashion is so
So
meticulous.
fun.
You know, the whole costume crew needs to get an award. The music is so well curated. The way it's shot is really
it's fun,
artistic and beautiful, but not too stylized that it feels unreal. Yeah, I don't know. It's just the whole, I feel like everyone involved in the production did a very good job, and the acting is very good.
Oh, he is a dead ringer.
Dead ringer.
And he never acted. He did theater before, and he was a model.
Well, he acted, I think, but just nothing we would know.
No, he said he never did any film or television.
Oh, okay.
Let me go back to my fact check.
No, I believe that. I just meant he was an actor. This wasn't like they plucked him out.
No, you're right.
Shreps.
But he said, I saw him in you're right. He did say in an interview he'd only done theater, though.
Okay.
He'd auditioned over and over and kept the man as beautiful.
Yeah.
And that's all that matters.
Ah.
This is just be good looking in
So
life.
what we're finding out about Carey today is that she would like to live in pretend Europe with
Yeah, Disney
very
Europe.
good-looking bad actors.
100%. I'm
Not
very
that he's a bad actor. He's an
lots of
excellent
plastic
actor.
surgery.
By the way, when people talk about bad actors, does it throw you? It really throws me when I'm watching CNN and they're like, and this bad actor, I always think of it as being someone who did poorly in a production.
What do you mean?
They talk about, when they're talking about politics and global, people involved in world politics, and they're like, and he was a bad actor. I'm like, in Hamlet?
I know.
Like,
I've
what?
never heard that. I didn't.
Well, they say it all the time now
Oh.
in newscasts, and it always, now I'm getting used to it. But for a while there, I'm like, what was he in?
What was he in?
So
Summer
bad.
Stuff? What play did he do that
It
was
just
so
became
bad?
like this buzzword to say bad actor for people that
He
were like
didn't-
behaving badly,
Oh, behaving badly.
like in global politics.
Yeah.
It's strange.
I want to say, you're Irish Catholic.
Mhm.
And so I believe you told me growing up you had a picture of John F. Kennedy framed in your house.
My parents had no, it wasn't hanging
Oh.
up framed. There are a lot of people that did, though.
Yeah.
I feel like Kennedy and Obama are the only two presidents that people really did that with.
Absolutely. Because he was the first Irish Catholic and youngest president.
It was a
John
big deal.
Kennedy.
And the only Catholic president until Biden, I believe.
Yeah, I mean, my father grew up, he told me, and I won't say the words, but he was called these very derogatory things in where he grew up with all the Irish immigrants that come into. And it's surprising now, but it was really a very, not a good thing to be Catholic.
Right.
And you're very discriminated against.
Right. And
I don't know why, but
to my parents, I don't know what they were doing before JFK was elected, but that was their first presidential election that they voted in.
why would that be?
I have no idea. But so then they registered as Democrats, which really stuck in their craw because then they were Republicans after that, but they were registered Democrats. And not that it matters to vote in the primary in New Jersey because it's not as impactful. But they were registered Democrats. And I don't think they ever voted for a Democrat except for JFK. But back to the 90s, I went to a 90s dance party a couple of weeks ago, and it was pretty fantastic.
And who threw that?
There's a couple of them. One was WFUV, Fordham's station, 90.7, my favorite radio station.
Wait a minute, what are you saying? The radio station threw a 90s dance party?
Yep.
And you went to it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was
Where was
at
that at?
White Eagle Hall in Jersey City. That was
How did you even hear about that?
I'm a member of WFUV, so I get their emails.
And who else went?
I dragged a couple people with me, but there were tons of people there.
Wow.
And then I just went to Early Birds. You know about Early Birds?
Mm.
Early Birds is this dance party. Their slogan is for women who have shit to do in the morning because it's from 6 to 10.
Oh my God,
It's like
that's
10
amazing.
o'clock, it shuts
That's
down.
actually amazing.
I know. And it was started by two friends who were friends since high school in Chicago. And one of them had breast cancer. And she was like, I really want to go out dancing, but I'm exhausted. And so they started this thing and just invited a bunch of their friends. And they were like, oh my God, this is amazing. You need to keep doing it.
But dancing in the 90s sucked. So I actually don't think...
What?
It was like this.
No, it wasn't. It was like the age of the Cabbage Patch and the Running Man. And like, there was
Well, if you were doing hip-hop dancing,
yeah,
like
it
if you...
was
I
fantastic.
wasn't capable. Were you doing
What
that?
about 80s dancing too? You could
I
still
thought it
dance
was
80s
awful.
in the 90s.
It was like...
No. I was doing some real moves.
All right, well...
And remember the big resurgence of swing?
no,
dancing in
that
the
was
90s?
fun. Okay,
That was
I
so
used to
fun.
go to Windows on the World at the World Trade Center at the very, very top and go swing dancing.
Oh, you did?
They used to swing dance nights on Saturday night, and my roommate and I, out of Queens, Jill, we would go and we would do the swing dancing, and it was so much fun. It was packed.
Did they give lessons, or did you just
No,
get out
just-
there and do whatever?
People just knew how to do it. I don't know if they were professional. I don't really know. But you just did it.
Dance?
No, no one asked me.
Oh, so it was like you had to stand on the
I-
wall
I
and wait
clearly-
for a boy to ask you?
Well, yeah, because swing dancing doesn't really swing on your own.
No, you cannot.
That's a whole nother
No, and the guys
episode.
really have to know what they're doing.
The guys got to know what they're doing.
'Cause there's a lot of like throwing you up in the air and like throwing
Yeah.
you to the side. And
It's really a 50s dance, I
Yeah, I
guess.
think so.
1950s, like a Lindy or something.
yeah, 40s, 50s.
Yeah, maybe the 40s. Maybe it was the 40s after the war. That's why I'm thinking the 50s.
Remember the Gap commercial that really
Yes!
started it? The Gap
Yes!
khakis commercial was so fantastic.
Fun, and then that was all about the cargo khakis.
Yeah, it was, I think it was Baby Big Bad Voodoo Daddy, who are actually going to be appearing here soon.
I don't know who that is.
The Swingers movie with Vince Vaughn
Yes.
and Jon Favreau.
But the guy who was, he did, what was his name? He had like a pompadour.
Mm-hmm. Chris
And,
Isaac?
no, and he did the swing dancing, and he was also in a band.
Oh.
You know, blonde. I can't think of his name. But he did a lot of
Not
these.
the Stray Cats.
Yes, that's
okay.
it. That's
I
exactly
can't
it.
remember his name, but yeah.
I think
That was kind of late 80s.
I thought he started doing swing too.
Really?
Well, we'll find
Yeah,
out.
no, it definitely was very swing. Do you just want to be the head of research?
I
at
just want to
Treasures
be
and
the
Kittens?
head of research.
And everything
Yeah.
has to be verified. Yeah, which really, like, to talk about the 90s and talk about that, I feel like it's a cop-out because it was just kind of recycling 40s, 50s culture. But it was really fun because it was just like everyone started taking swing dance lessons and going to things at, places like Windows on the World had these events. And it was just a lot of engagement in real life. What are we doing tonight?
Well, what you're saying is true. Art was alive and happening in the city.
It
Whether
really
we were
was.
at a stand-up comedy club, and by the way, clubs were packed.
Packed.
We could bring in. It's very hard to get an audience now. I would never go to. I don't go to stand-up. I wouldn't see it on TikTok. Back then, it was packed. You go to summer. What is it? It was Summer Stage in Central Park.
And
You're always looking for culture.
Well, because we were
Not
like,
anymore.
what are we doing? We
Yes.
gotta
What
do
are we
something.
doing?
Well, there's no, you weren't in your phones. So it was like, what do you want to do tonight?
Yes.
Where are we going? Let's go here and see what happens.
And it wasn't. I don't feel like it was a big drinking culture.
No,
it wasn't. Maybe it was just me.
I mean,
but
you
now
could
these
have
kids
a drink or two, but it wasn't like go out to get drunk.
No, it wasn't like we're going out. You do that maybe after, but you definitely like. I remember. I used to call it Laverne and Shirley dating. Remember the show Laverne and Shirley?
I love it.
I would get dressed up. I worked. I was a temp in a law firm, and I would get dressed up. And there was this lawyer who was so sweet, and he was fine looking. Whatever, it was lovely. He would take me out on Friday night. He'd tell me next Friday we're gonna go out again. I'm like, okay. We go to a really nice restaurant with like the nice tablecloths, and I would get dressed up. One time he took me to a ballroom where the Red Hot Chili Peppers performed with like 100 people.
Oh my gosh.
And then he'd give me $20. I get a cab and I go home. He was only a few years older than me. He was a lawyer. And then I was home by 10 and it was over. And then one time I met another guy at like 10:05 and we at the pub and then down the street in Queens, then we had fun. But like that was the era where you went on dates like that and you went out and did fun things in New York.
It was
go to
like,
theater.
yeah, you'd go to games, and part of it is you're in your 20s, right? But part of it is there wasn't the fallback of Netflix and chill or being in your phone all night.
Or being in your phone all night, just looking at your phone.
Right.
Not at all.
And being sort of engaged in the loneliest possible way. You know?
Yes.
Like I do feel like, talk about the ick. Like I feel, I did this last night. I was scrolling in Instagram, and in the beginning it's like, oh, that's interesting. Oh, that's whatever. Oh, that's upsetting. Oh, that's, it's like, it's a real roller coaster.
That's right.
Of like, oh, look at that cute raccoon.
Yep.
The Epstein files. Then, you know what I mean? It's just like, woo.
Too much information.
It's so much coming at you all
Too
at
much.
once. And it's like 1 minute you're watching a raccoon jump on a trampoline, and the next minute
Yes.
you're hearing about the most horrific things that are humanly possible. And then it's like, okay, shut your eyes and go to sleep.
I think that's a really good point. You could say you are a very cultured and interesting person just by spending a day on TikTok and be very informed. We had to get informed and go out into the world and get informed.
Right.
There was none
And it
of
was
that.
a much slower,
Much slower.
but richer process.
Yes.
Right? It was like, you experienced it, and you experienced it over a period of hours. And that's how you
Yes.
found out about going to the opera for the first time, or seeing ballet, or going to a Broadway show.
I went to the opera
or...
many, many times. You're
Yeah.
absolutely right.
Yeah.
And I haven't been since. But when social media came, we were like, that's over. Thank God. No, we can do this in seconds.
I don't have to put my shoes on.
Yeah,
But
no,
I
you
know,
don't have to go anywhere.
And I'm not faulting anybody for it. I do it too. It's hard to say no to it. It's hard to force yourself
It is
to
hard.
put your phone down and be, let's actually go to the Met and see an opera,
Yeah, which I didn't care for very much at all. I went twice and I was like, I never need to do this again in my whole life. And I know that's a hot topic because Timothy
Chalamet, yeah.
And I think it's wonderful. I think it's beautiful. It just wasn't.
It's not your
for
cup
me.
of tea.
No, it wasn't. And
It's not that it shouldn't exist. It just wasn't your cup of tea.
It wasn't my cup of tea.
I loved it.
You did?
I did.
For real?
For real. I didn't love Madame Butterfly.
I saw Placido Domingo and I was like, he needs to sit down for a little bit. I'm tired. It's a lot of effort singing.
But I've seen quite a few that I loved. Like, now you watch it for 2 seconds in a clip and you're like, yeah, that's not for me. Instead of being there for 2 hours and being like, well, I like this about it, but not this. Or it's really fun to get dressed up. This theater is beautiful. There's so many aspects to actually experiencing
And people got
something.
dressed up.
Yeah.
You wore gloves and a gown.
Yeah.
And like
that's fun.
costume jewelry. It was fun. I mean, you really got dressed up.
I know.
Mm-hmm. I went to the Tonys one year.
You did?
I did I think it was 90. Well, whatever town it was, whatever year Urinetown was on. I don't remember when that was.
90.
Maybe it was
I would say like 98,
2000.
I feel like it was the very end if it was still the
Yeah.
90s.
And I got dressed up in a ball gown. It was really fun.
Wow.
And then we went to
What did your gown look like?
It was remember ABS? They would do all the knockoffs.
Mhm.
And so I still have it in my closet. It was tucked to the side because I always had the bazoombas. So I was like always trying to minimize them because grew up Catholic and that was not a nice thing to do, is show your bazoombas. Keep those wrapped up.
Yeah. I mean, you couldn't even show your shoulders.
No.
It was a big deal for me to have off the shoulder wedding dress.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
What a
but it was
slut.
I know. Forget about strapless. Like, you wouldn't even think about it. You had to have a sleeve. You couldn't have spaghetti straps. You couldn't have strapless. But I had off the shoulder and I had my dress made. So I made the sleeve like extra, like thicker than.
Yeah, you'd make it thicker so it was kind of like a cap, like a sleeve almost.
Yeah.
I remember I was 23 and I walked out. I mean, this is no. I think I was 20. So this would have been 96, I think, or 97. I had this much of a cleavage, and my mother's like, "What is that?" I had the Victoria's Secret bodysuits on. Remember those?
Yeah.
And with a flannel, and I was like, "Oh!" And I had to go change.
Wow.
And with my minimized bra, by the way.
Which made you look pigeon-breasted, I'm sure.
It was terrible.
Squish you down.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, girls, it's a lot when
Yeah.
they're all half naked now. I understand that, but there is something to, not feeling so ashamed to be and being so covered up when we were younger.
Yeah. Body positivity is one of the greatest things about modern day.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of, with the negatives, there are a lot of positives come.
Mm-hmm.
But we also need to clean it up a little bit too. Not everything's got to be out, ladies.
But if that's what makes you feel good.
Like, I have a muffin top and it should not be seen.
I mean, I agree for myself.
You don't have a muffin top. You've never had a muffin top.
Yes, I do. But
Eileen was always 5'10", gorgeous model, slender,
no, not
and
anymore,
no
sister.
muffin tops. I was 22, still trying to figure out how to get rid of the muffin top, and I didn't have children.
Well, hello menopause, hello muffin tops.
No, mine didn't come on because of menopause.
I know, but I'm saying mine did. But no, I agree. I think sometimes it's just a matter of.
So right now we're talking, and these monstrous dogs that Eileen has.
The studio audience
is like, that's enough. You two have been talking enough. And her dog is dragging the claw down the
his giant
door
man-sized claw
to come in. Show them.
Do you want to see our studio audience? Who wants to see the studio audience? Bear.
Bear, say hi.
Say hi.
No, come over here. Come over. See,
There he is.
you are done.
Yes.
You're done with us talking. All right, we'll
Just-
wrap it up. We're gonna wrap it up then. The dogs are
I feel
done.
like we could talk about the 90s forever. I have to say that this show, though, I feel like it's like you have a vacation where there's a lot of stress, like with kids, for instance. You go somewhere and the flight is miserable and someone
This is a lot of
cries.
breathing. We're not gonna pretend that this dog. Show this on camera. What's happening to me right now? She won't stop it. By the way, she's like, "Don't you love it? It's a lot, honey. It's very smelly, and I do love you."
He's not.
Oh, his breath.
No. So wait, but I feel like this
Hi,
this
baby.
show, it's like when you go back and watch the slideshow of your vacation, and all it is the smiling pictures,
Yeah.
right? And it leaves out the terrible flight and the fights with your kids.
Yes.
The more you look at the pictures, the more you're like, that was a great vacation. When meanwhile you get home and you're like, what the heck? Like never again.
What
right?
was awful about the 90s?
So the misogyny, the
Oh.
like sexual
Oh.
harassment, we touched on how dangerous and dirty the streets were.
I'll tell you
Of
a
New York City.
misogynist story.
Yeah.
This was 1996. I was working at a NBC affiliate in Virginia, and I'll never forget this. I was a young girl. I just graduated, and I was running the camera for the 11 o'clock cut-in. The anchor person was there, and I don't know. I just had a shirt on. It wasn't anything. I had work clothes on. I
Mhm.
think I had a turtleneck on. And he looked, and I was like, all right, the camera's good. You're good. And he looked, and he goes, oh my God, you were so voluptuous. And I went, what? Like, he was like 15 years older than me.
Mm.
I started to cry.
Mm.
And my face got red. I was mortified. I was so mortified.
It's just like, why do you have
Why?
to comment on women's bodies?
Why do you think
Why
I
do you-
care what you think?
Why do you have to say that out loud?
Why would
Think
you
whatever you want, but what gives you the right to?
I was a young girl.
Yeah,
It was
to
gross.
comment on women's bodies. Just
I
don't.
never
Think
forgot
whatever
it.
you want, but don't.
That's how impactful it was. This person, by the way, is an anchor. He's a big time anchor.
Really, in
Yeah.
New York now, or
I'm not sure, but one of the big stations.
Hmm.
And I remember the producers took him aside. They're like, "You can't say that."
Well, thank goodness for that.
They did. The women
because I
producers
feel like
did.
that never would have been
They're like, "What's
corrected.
wrong with you? You can't say that to her." And he was like, "Oh, well, blah, blah, blah." So I'm glad that was said. But this is some of the misogyny. Right. That was the worst part of it. Every part of your body could be touched,
Mhm.
could be
Ogled, yeah.
excuse me, and talked about.
Right.
And you
and
you couldn't say
comments
no.
to your face.
Yeah.
And yeah, people grabbing your boobs on the subway, grabbing
Totally.
your ass on the subway.
And why shouldn't they? That was the attitude.
There was this sense of entitlement.
From women, older women telling us, well, that's men.
Right. What are you going to do?
What are you gonna do?
Boys will be boys.
Yeah.
Right. And it was just like, why?
Why? So you're right. That was one of the worst parts. And there was an idea that women couldn't do everything they wanted. They still couldn't.
No. And it was always sort of negotiating
Yep.
to be at the table in any way. And you definitely did not have power. And it wasn't because you were at entry level or a few notches above entry level. It was because you were a woman. And so it was like, well, the men are still the gatekeepers and you have to play along to get any sort of crumbs that you could.
Well,
You know?
even in comedy, you had to have a show of ladies of laughter.
Oh, otherwise it would be 6 to 8 guys. and
One
woman.
You couldn't have more than two, more than one.
I would recommend Friends, and they'd be like, "No, we already have you. We can't have another woman."
Yeah. No.
I'm like, is that a law?
And that hasn't changed that much. Some of the TV networks, you see these, hosts, and there's 4 guys and 1 woman. I still think that's I still think that's definitely an issue. And then it became odd to see a mom, having something else to do that had to be called out. Well, how do you do it? Oh,
Right.
that was real. And I think our moms, I had a progressive mom. I think you did too. But they
No, she wasn't progressive. She was very conservative, but she always worked. It was
And
really
she
weird.
knew
She
her
was like,
role almost
she
and
was
sat in
her
it,
own
right?
worst enemy in that she wasn't pro women at all. She was very like anti-feminist. It was weird. She worked,
Really?
but it was like, know your place. I mean, she would actually say that, know your place. And if there was a woman that was like, she didn't like Barbara Walters, she didn't like
Oh,
Oprah,
yeah.
she didn't like,
Too
and
much to say.
yep.
That's what they would say.
She's getting too big for her britches.
Too big for a bridge.
Too
Oh,
big for her
that's what
britches. That
that
was one of her
generation,
favorite
that
lines.
generation
If a
said
woman
that
was
all the
getting
time.
any power, they were too big for their britches.
Yep. Too big for the britches. You're absolutely right.
I'm like, how about we get new britches then? How about that?
My mother would tell me when I was in 7th grade, go in and clean the kitchen after Thanksgiving, and I go, no.
Oh, yeah.
My brother and everybody's sleeping over there on the couch.
Yep.
I'm going to go. No, women in our family, we clean the kitchen after.
Yep. Same. Yep.
Well, I don't, and that's not popular in our families.
And I know.
When
I
you start
mean,
bucking the
I just
system.
did it. No, I know. Oh, we were the troublemakers.
Yeah, we were the problem because we called out the dysfunction.
Yeah. That I talk about this all the time about Gen X being the truth tellers and the sort of whistleblowers, and they're like, hey, this isn't fair, or this doesn't seem right, and it's like, just go along with it. This is the way it's always been.
Why are you so special that
yeah.
it should be fair now?
Yeah.
Mhm.
And it's like, this seems messed up,
Mm-hmm.
and then you're the bad guy.
So you're right. Women really still caught the bad end of the stick in the 90s. So that's something to focus on,
Mm-hmm.
And in some ways, I think that's where I was getting at a little bit with Caroline. Like, even though it looked so like she was beautiful and she was powerful and she was this, she still was a side piece to him.
And not only that, she was treated so badly by the press.
Yes.
And
they would yell out at her, bitch.
yeah, and worse.
Yes.
And
it was, when are you having a baby?
yeah.
As soon as when are you getting married?
And like, there's one, I don't know, I found this so chilling. There's the scene, I don't know if you saw it yet, where she's in a car and she's left some event or something. And I feel like it's when they came back after their honeymoon and like got kind of there was just this onslaught of
Yes.
paparazzi that they didn't expect.
Yeah.
And she's in a car and she's driving by a store window. And there's a life-size cutout of JFK Jr.
Yes.
And then a mannequin in a dress, and it said, it could have been you.
Yeah.
That was so creepy. And it was like dehumanizing to her. And there was something so chilling about that.
It is chilling. But I think it was chilling. But that was the time when women were not sticking together.
No, and we were pitted. Well, we were pitted against each other. That was a strategy.
Absolutely.
We were pitted against each other, and we weren't looked at as people.
No.
It's like just the fact that it could have been you. Like you're interchangeable with any other woman.
100%.
You're just an object.
And who can land them?
Right. You're just an object. It doesn't matter who, who's, and this kind of like, wear the right dress or look the right way, and then you've got a leg up.
Well, girl power wasn't even like a word.
Mm-mm.
It wasn't even a phrase. Isn't that funny to
and when
think about?
And when you try to get your friends spots on comedy shows and you're told, then you need to give up yours.
Yeah.
Right? Because there's only one.
Yeah.
And you're already on the show. That makes it feel adversarial, right? Like you try to be supportive, but then it's like, no, it's just, there's room for 9 guys and 1 woman. And that doesn't make for sisterhood.
Mm-mm.
It makes for desperation and scarcity mindset.
Mm-hmm.
And that's another thing about the 90s, not just in comedy, but everywhere, that it just felt like you're lucky you could get what you got, even though you're getting paid garbage money and getting treated badly. It's like, well, I'm just lucky to be here.
And you better be the pretty girl.
Mm-hmm.
For real. Or else, and by the way, I wasn't, and I'm not saying that in like, oh, poor me. I wasn't. And I felt like, I remember I walked into an agent's office and he said something so awful to me. He was like, you know what you are? I don't even know if I should say what he said. He was this agent, and he goes, I really just see you like a like big fat lesbian, like a Rosie O'Donnell. And I was like, did you just say that to me? Oh my
Oh,
God.
anything people would say anything. I would go.
Men
It would
would
be
say
like
anything,
men
not
would say
women.
anything. Yeah, men would be like,
I was like, first
your
of all, what's
nose
wrong
is
with a
too
lesbian?
wide,
Oh,
your
yeah.
hips are too wide,
Yep.
to your face.
To your face. It would be good if you didn't have that nose, because I did get my nose done, and I felt that tremendously. I was like, what is? And you, by the way, the more that you just absorbed it and went, yeah, I know, isn't it terrible, and owned
Right,
it, it was
try to
like,
make it,
then you were cooler.
yeah.
And it was like, wait a minute, it's all self-deprecating.
Yes.
And then you were like, oh, yeah, I am fat. I know I'm awful, right?
Instead of being like, fuck you.
Yeah, there was no fuck you.
Mm-mm.
I'm beautiful. There was none of that.
No, there's no body positivity.
No.
It was all like, there's room for one.
It was called eating
next.
it.
Yep.
Eat it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or get the fuck out.
Mm-hmm. So there were great things about the 90s, but I got to tell you, there were a lot of bad things about
There were a lot of
woman
bad
in the 90s.
things.
Yeah.
You're 100% right.
And it is fun to watch this because it's like looking back at vacation pictures, right? It's curated, it's edited, set it to a fun song, and it was like, that was the best vacation. Meanwhile, you wanted to kill each other half the time. And that's what this is. It's like, oh my God, this soundtrack's so fun and the fashion's so fun. And there are so many things that are great about it, but there were a lot of things that weren't.
No.
Well,
for women in particular. Yeah,
for
I
women
agree.
in particular.
I mean, I'm going to tell you, I literally wore stiletto heels to work with jeans.
Yeah.
On what planet would any woman going to work wear heels now?
I was in my block heel era in the 90s. I was really into block heels, so I wasn't wearing stilettos.
I had a beautiful pair.
I was stilettos in the 80s, but I was in high school. I had kept them in my locker. I had 3 pairs.
Isn't
Gray,
that just crazy?
black, and white, maybe?
And catcalls were like great.
It was this weird feeling of being like, oh, like that's a compliment, and also I hope I don't die.
Oh yeah, 100%.
It was like this weird combination of like terror and like, oh, that's nice.
Yeah, it's absolutely crazy.
Oh, it was.
So I'm glad you brought that up.
Stop.
I'm glad. I really am. I'm glad you brought it up because it wasn't so great necessarily.
Yeah, there was a lot that was not good about it. And you had to be so on guard.
Yes.
Especially on the subway, especially on crowded, like at rush hour on the subway. Guys would grab you constantly.
I remember I had a guy, I was in the subway going back to Queens, and I felt a poking. And my roommate's mother told me, you know what you need to do? You need to keep a little pin. I would keep a little...
the hat pins. Like, we need to bring back hats. Just for the hat pins. Those things are like 12 inches long.
I had a bobby pin, but not a bobby pin. A safety pin, but I did have it.
Good.
And I felt the poking, and he was poking his penis in my back. And we were crowded. I mean, we were all like this.
Oh my God, you brought out the pin?
I did, and I went, it was just and it stopped, but he didn't know I did it. Yeah, I didn't show that I'd done it.
That's the beauty of it, because if you call him on it, he'll be like, it wasn't me.
Yeah.
Whereas you just stab him, and it's over.
Yeah.
You know? I had a few times I grabbed men by their pinky. Because they grabbed me. And
really?
When I grabbed, like somebody had their hand on my boob or on my butt, I grabbed their hand.
These weren't bumps.
If you take a guy's hand by the pinky and you move it sideways.
Oh, it hurts right now.
I'm barely putting any pressure on.
It hurts right now.
And a little more and I would break it.
Yeah.
So I did more than that, but not enough to break it.
But these were not homeless, mentally impaired people.
They were in suits.
These were executives.
They were on their way to work just like I was.
Yeah.
And usually 20 years older.
And it wasn't shameful.
Like someone's dad.
Totally.
Yeah.
It wasn't, they were not wrong. It wasn't like, well, yeah, they're men. Well, you've got them. What are they supposed to do? Why wouldn't we grab it if we see it?
Yeah, even though I'm married with 4 kids.
Why wouldn't we grab it?
Yeah.
Look what you got.
And
it was nuts. I'm so glad we don't have children that are
coming into that.
Yeah, because it was scary.
It was scary. It was hard to navigate, and you had to just get very tough very fast.
Mm-hmm. And then you were a problem. It wasn't like, look at you be all. It was like, Oh, you're crazy.
Yeah, it was so hard to navigate, I mean, there's been such a turn in people rallying and like women helping women. Like
Yes.
now, if a woman jumps up and says something, there's a good chance that other women are going to come to her aid. Whereas in the
Mm-hmm.
90s,
No
it was
way.
like you were looked at like you were crazy.
Yeah, you're just supposed to take it, don't you know? You're supposed to just take it.
Yeah, I was commuting from suburban New Jersey to New York. I was like 20, just 22, and there was an older man in a suit who got on at, I remember the Ridgewood stop, park and ride, and he would seek me out and sit next to
Oh
me
my God.
and rub his leg against my leg.
Stop it.
And I got up. I was like, "Excuse me." And I got up. And this was after a couple of times of him doing this because I didn't know what was happening or what to do. And the next time he tried to, like, I would sit on the outer seat. Because you know how, like, if you sit on the outer seat,
Mm-hmm.
usually someone will move on to where there's a seat where they don't have to make someone get up to
Mm-hmm.
sit there. So I tried that. No, he would seek me out and come sit next to me. So then I would try to sit next to women before he got on because I got on before him. So I would always try to sit next to a woman, but it's a little weird when there's only 5 people on the bus and I'm going to like pal up next to you. It's
Yeah.
like now I'm the psycho. But I remember I got up and I went and sat somewhere else. And he menaced me he turned around and stared me down for like the 40-minute bus ride. And I told the bus driver about it.
Oh,
Didn't care. I was the problem.
don't you know your role?
Yeah.
But you're right, and I think this wraps it up. 90s lacked boundaries.
Yeah. Very
Period.
much so.
And you couldn't claim your boundary.
And there wasn't any language around.
No.
There wasn't even the word boundary back then. Really. It was so hard to articulate and navigate.
But it also, to me, also the women of that generation, it leaked into the 2000s. I remember in 2006 or 7.
Mm.
And I don't know if I'm going to tell the talk show. There was a talk show. Do you know the story? There was a talk show with a very famous broadcaster who came out of the Today Show. And I was brought in to interview for the warm-up comic. And a woman producer sat across from me. She's executive producer of the show. And she said to me, now this job is a full-time job. When you've got children, what would you do if your child was sick? How would you make it into the show, which tapes at 2:00? How would you do pickup? How would you do drop off? And I was like, are you asking if I know how to show up to a job? And she was like around 50.
She's basically saying being a mother makes you not be able to hold down a job.
And there's another female comic, and I asked her, and she said she asked me the same questions.
Like illegal, I think now, right?
100%. I think it was illegal then. And you know who? I'm going to say who it was. It was Katie Kirk.
Oh wow!
It was the Katie Kirk show. I said it, and
Katie Kirk didn't say.
Katie Kirk didn't say it. It was her producer who said it, the executive producer. And then I asked another producer, "What do you think of your decisions you're going to make with this job?" And he's like, "They're just going to go with a man. It's just easier." I have it in the email. That's what he said to me.
Wow!
Isn't that amazing?
Yeah.
So Katie Kirk should have cleaned up her act a little bit with her behind the scenes producers.
Yeah.
Sorry, Katie.
It's so easy to do the right thing.
Why? So much easier.
Why would you do that?
But women made it harder for women.
Yeah.
The older generation women made it harder because they had it harder. And I don't feel
like it's the hazing mentality, right? I got abused to be in this fraternity or sorority, so now I'm going to abuse you. And it's going to continue on and on and on, and I'm going to pass the trauma down.
And I feel like our generation are not doing that.
Mm-hmm.
And not all. I mean, of course, you've got your bad eggs or whatever. Right. But I think for the most part, our generation, it has to be because our children are in their 20s and they completely flipped the switch on this.
Right.
And we support it.
Right.
We got tired of it. We're like, you don't need to be treated that way.
Right. And they educate me sometimes.
Absolutely they do.
You know,
I agree.
They check me. When I remember saying something to my older son and he was like, are you gender shaming me? And I was like,
I think I did.
Am I?
I think I did gender shame you.
And I might stand behind it too.
we Generation X, I'm 52, you're
57.
Oh, 57.
Mhm.
So we really, I feel like, are the last generation of the, the old coming out of the Depression. My father grew up in the Depression.
My parents did
Your
too.
parents did as well.
Mhm.
And so I feel like when we're gone, maybe the world will just be better. Once we're dead.
My God, we're not ending on
My
that
mother
note.
said that. My mom goes, you just really need my generation to die, and
Well, that-
everybody will be better.
Yeah, except that
She was thinking of accepting of gay and
Mhm.
bisexuals
just the
and
tired,
just the
tired things that keep holding on. But
all
that's the
these
thing,
old tired.
That's not so much generational as regional and white nationalist.
Yeah,
That stuff.
I guess.
I mean, there's plenty of people, even who live in New Jersey, who have that mentality.
Oh well, you certainly.
And
I
they might be 40. They're not Gen X. It's still
It's really just not being educated.
or
Or-
being an asshole.
Oh yeah, don't be an asshole.
Don't be an asshole. It's not
I love
hard.
that. Let's end this on "Don't be an asshole."
Yeah.
Into the new
Just
generation
make that your mantra.
of not being assholes.
Yeah, just like mind your own. That's what I
Asshole.
tell my dogs, mind your own biscuits.
Thanks for having me today. This was
It's
fun.
So much fun. I can't wait to have you back.
Yeah, I'm coming back.
Talk about all your things that are coming up.
But I love this because I think this goes in the books of like don't romanticize the 90s.
Yeah, it was. There were a lot of things.
It was great.
But there were things that we can and have improved upon
Mm-hmm.
and continue to correct.
Bye.
Thanks for listening.
If you like the show, please rate, review, and share on social media. Strangers with Kittens is produced by Ashley Aker and recorded in front of a live audience of dogs.